The champagne cork exploded across our living room at exactly 9:46 p.m., and I watched my wife Melissa kiss another man like I didn't exist. I wasn't supposed to be home. That's what made it perfect, or terrible, depending on whose story you're telling. My flight from Denver had been scheduled to land at midnight, but we'd caught a tailwind and touched down 2 hours early. I'd texted Melissa from the airport, but she hadn't responded. No big deal. She'd mentioned something about a girls' night with her coworkers to celebrate her promotion to regional sales director. Except this wasn't a girls' night. I stood in the darkened hallway of our Scottsdale townhouse, my carry-on still in hand, watching through the gap in the door as my wife of 6 years straddled some guy on our couch. Her blouse, the blue one I'd bought her for our anniversary, was unbuttoned. His hands were underneath it, and they were going at it like teenagers. My brain couldn't process it. This was Melissa. My Melissa. The woman who cried during dog food commercials and insisted on kissing me goodbye every single morning, even when we were fighting. God, I've missed this, she moaned, coming up for air. 3 months of sneaking around is killing me. 3 months. The words hit me like a freight train. This wasn't some drunken mistake. This was planned, ongoing, a whole secret life I knew nothing about. Your husband's gone until tomorrow? The guy asked. He was younger than me, maybe 30 to my 37, with the kind of gym-sculpted arms that come from having too much time and disposable income. Yeah, Jake's in Denver until midnight at least. We have all night. She giggled, actually giggled, and kissed him again. Jake. My own name sounded foreign coming from her mouth in this context, like she was talking about a stranger. Some inconvenient obstacle to work around. I should have stormed in, thrown the guy out, demanded answers. That's what they do in movies. But I couldn't move. My legs had turned to concrete, rooting me to the hardwood floor I'd installed myself last summer, while Melissa supervised with lemonade and encouragement. Did you tell him yet? The guy asked, his hands moving lower. Tell him what? About us. About leaving. Melissa pulled back slightly. Not yet. I need to time it right. Jake's got that big presentation next month for the partnership track. I'll tell him after that. Babe, you've been saying that for weeks. I'm tired of hiding. I want to take you to Maui like we planned. I want to wake up with you every morning. I know. Soon, I promise. I just need to figure out the best way to handle it. Jake's going to be devastated. The casual way she said it, like my devastation was just another item on her to-do list, somewhere between pick up dry cleaning and cancel gym membership, finally broke through my paralysis. I pulled out my phone, hands shaking, and opened the camera app. The rational part of my brain that somehow still functioned knew I needed evidence. Arizona was a no-fault divorce state, but this could matter for other things. Alimony, asset division. I didn't know exactly how, but every instinct screamed to document everything. I recorded for 90 seconds. Got clear shots of their faces, their positions, the intimate way they touched each other with the ease of long familiarity. The video was shaky. My hands wouldn't stop trembling, but it was unmistakable. Then I backed away slowly, carefully, until I reached the front door. I opened it as quietly as I'd closed it 5 minutes earlier and stepped outside into the warm Arizona night. My car was in the driveway. Melissa's Lexus, the one I'd co-signed for 8 months ago, sat next to an unfamiliar black BMW. His car, the guy who was currently doing things with my wife on the couch we'd picked out together at IKEA, arguing playfully about whether gray or beige was more practical. I sat in my Honda Accord and stared at my phone. The video was still there, real and undeniable. Melissa's face filled the screen, flushed and happy in a way I hadn't seen in months, maybe longer. How had I missed this? The business trips, the late nights at the office, the new lingerie I'd found in the laundry and stupidly assumed was for me. The way she'd started going to the gym 5 days a week instead of 2. The subtle distance that had crept into our marriage so gradually, I'd barely noticed until it became a canyon. I'd chalked it up to stress. Her new position had demanding hours, lots of travel, high pressure. I'd been supportive, understanding. I'd picked up extra housework, cooked dinner most nights, never complained when she canceled our date nights or fell asleep before I came to bed. What an idiot. My phone buzzed with a text from my business partner, Tyler. How'd the Denver pitch go? They biting? The Denver pitch. Right. My actual life, the one that existed outside of this nightmare. We'd just landed a potential client worth $2 million over 3 years. I should have been celebrating. Instead, I was sitting in my driveway while a stranger celebrated in my house. I started the car and drove. No destination in mind, just away. Away from that house, that couch, that champagne cork still probably lying on the floor somewhere. I ended up at a 24-hour diner off the 101, the kind of place that serves breakfast all day and doesn't judge the guy sitting alone in a corner booth at 10 p.m., staring at his phone like it holds the secrets of the universe. It did, actually. Just not the ones I wanted. The waitress refilled my coffee for the 3rd time. I hadn't touched the eggs I'd ordered. They'd gone cold an hour ago, congealed into a yellow-white mass that made my stomach turn. My phone sat face down on the table. I'd turned off notifications after the 5th text from Melissa came through. Where are you? Jake, your car's gone. Are you okay? Please call me. I'm worried. The performance was almost impressive. She'd probably tucked the guy out the back door, straightened the couch cushions, and slipped back into wife mode like changing costumes. 6 years of marriage, and I'd never suspected she was this good at lying. I flipped the phone over. 11:47 p.m. The texts had stopped 20 minutes ago. The video file sat in my photos, 90 seconds of evidence that my marriage was over. I'd watched it twice in the parking lot, just to make sure my brain hadn't invented the whole thing. It hadn't. Every detail was exactly as I remembered. Melissa's flushed face, the guy's hand on her waist, their casual intimacy that spoke of months of practice. 3 months. I pulled up my calendar app and started scrolling backward. 3 months ago was February. Valentine's Day had fallen on a Wednesday this year. I'd taken her to that new steakhouse in Old Town, the one with the 2-month waiting list. She'd worn the red dress I loved, held my hand across the table, told me she was the luckiest woman alive. 2 weeks later, she'd joined that new gym, the one with the Olympic-sized pool and the amazing personal trainers. She'd started going 5 times a week, coming home energized, glowing. I'd been happy for her, supportive. What an idiot. My phone buzzed. Not Melissa this time. Tyler, my business partner. Dude, Carlson just emailed. They're in. Full contract. $2 over 2 years. We did it. I stared at the message. 12 hours ago, this would have been the best news of my life. Tyler and I had been chasing the Carlson account for 8 months. It would triple our revenue, let us expand to California like we'd planned. It was everything we'd been working toward. I typed back, "That's incredible. Talk tomorrow." The waitress drifted by again. "You doing okay, hun?" "Fine, thanks." She didn't believe me, but she'd worked enough late shifts to know when to leave someone alone. I opened a new app, the one I'd forgotten about until this moment. Juice Press. Melissa had signed us both up 6 months ago, one of her health kicks. We had a shared subscription, deliveries twice a week to different locations. I got mine at the office. She got hers at, I pulled up the delivery history, the gym. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 6 a.m. That tracked with what I knew. But there was a second delivery location I didn't recognize. Locker 247, same gym, different time slot. Mondays and Wednesdays at noon. I clicked on the delivery details. Each shipment to Locker 247 was marked as received and signed for. 2 signatures on every confirmation. The recent orders were all the same blend. Aphrodisiac Vitality Boost. According to the product description, it was loaded with maca root, ginseng, and some other ingredients that promised enhanced intimacy and stamina. I scrolled through 3 months of orders. The pattern was consistent. Twice a week, like clockwork, starting in mid-February. The app had a voting feature. We could both rate the different juice blends, and the algorithm would adjust our shipments based on our preferences. I pulled up the voting history. Melissa had upvoted Aphrodisiac Vitality Boost 17 times. I'd never even heard of it. My coffee had gone cold. I pushed it aside and pulled up the subscription details. We were on the Couples Cleanse Premium plan, $340 a month, charged to our joint credit card. The card I paid off every month without looking too closely at the itemized charges. I clicked through to the signature confirmations. They were digital, captured on the delivery driver's tablet. Locker near 247, every Monday and Wednesday, 2 signatures. Melissa's looping cursive, instantly recognizable. And next to it, a bold scrawl I didn't know. The same signature every time. Consistent. Familiar to whoever was signing. The guy from my living room. Had to be. I took a screenshot of every delivery confirmation from the past 3 months. 36 signatures. 36 pieces of evidence that Melissa had been sharing more than juice with someone else. The app had another feature I'd never used, a shared fridge display. We'd bought one of those smart fridges last year, the kind with the touchscreen on the door. Melissa had synced it to the Juice Press app so we could vote on flavors right from the kitchen. I logged into the fridge's companion app on my phone. The interface loaded, showing our kitchen in real time. The camera was motion-activated, designed to help you see what groceries you had while shopping. I scrolled through the saved clips. Most were boring. Melissa grabbing milk, me making coffee. But then I found one from this morning, 6:47 a.m., right after I'd left for the airport. Melissa stood in front of the fridge in her workout clothes, holding one of those bright green juice bottles. She pulled up the voting screen on the fridge display and upvoted Aphrodisiac Vitality Boost again. Then she took a long sip, smiling at something on her phone. The camera caught her screen in the reflection on the fridge's stainless steel surface. A text conversation. The contact name just a single letter, D. Can't wait for tonight. I'll bring the champagne. Her response, Jake's flight lands at midnight. We have plenty of time. I watched her drain the juice bottle, toss it in the recycling, and walk out of frame. The timestamp read 6:49 a.m., 7 hours before I'd boarded my flight. 13 hours before I'd walked into my own house and found her with him. The diner had emptied out. Just me and a couple of truckers nursing coffee at the counter. The waitress was wiping down tables, getting ready for the overnight crowd. I pulled up the Juice Press customer service page. They had a 24-hour hotline for subscription issues. I dialed. Juice Press Customer Care, this is Brandon. How can I help you achieve optimal wellness tonight? I need to report fraudulent charges on my account. Brandon's enthusiasm dimmed slightly. I'm sorry to hear that, sir. Can I get your account number? I read it off from the app. Okay, Mr. Whitman. I see you're on our Couples Cleanse Premium plan. What charges are you disputing? All deliveries to Locker 247 for the past 3 months. I didn't authorize those shipments, and I didn't authorize the signature confirmations. I see. Let me pull up those records. Keyboard clicks. Sir, I'm showing that those deliveries were part of your shared subscription plan. The signatures were collected at point of delivery, as per our standard protocol. The second signature isn't mine. Someone else has been signing for deliveries on my account without my authorization. That's fraud. More keyboard clicks. I understand your concern, sir. However, our Couples Cleanse plan allows for shared deliveries between 2 designated users. According to our records, both signatures were accepted by our delivery partners. I'm telling you, I didn't sign for any of those deliveries. I want copies of every signature confirmation, and I want to know your company's policy on unauthorized use of subscription services. Brandon hesitated. Sir, if you're alleging fraud, I'll need to escalate this to our security team. They'll conduct an investigation. Perfect. Do that. I should let you know if we determine the charges were legitimate, you'll still be responsible for payment. And if you determine they weren't legitimate, then we'll issue a full refund and pursue recovery from the responsible party. I'll also need a pause on all deliveries, effective immediately. I can do that. Your subscription will be frozen pending the investigation. You should receive an email within 24 hours with next steps. One more thing. I want copies of all signature confirmations sent to my email. Tonight. Sir, that's part of the investigation process. I'm a paying customer disputing fraudulent charges. I have a right to see the documentation. Either send them tonight, or I'll file a complaint with my credit card company and dispute every charge from the past 6 months. Silence. Then, I'll have those sent to the email on file within the hour. Thank you, Brandon. I hung up and pulled up my contacts. My attorney's name was near the top, Gregory Brennan. We'd used him for business contracts, nothing personal, but he'd mentioned once that his firm handled family law. It was almost midnight, but I sent the email anyway. Greg, need to discuss a personal legal matter, possible divorce, have documentation. Can we meet tomorrow? The reply came faster than I expected. My office, 9 a.m. Bring everything. I paid my check, left a 20 for the waitress, and walked out into the warm Arizona night. My car sat alone in the parking lot under a flickering streetlight. I didn't want to go home. Couldn't stomach the thought of walking back into that townhouse, seeing Melissa's concerned face, listening to her ask where I'd been. But I had nowhere else to go. I drove back slowly, taking the long way through empty streets. The house was dark when I pulled into the driveway. Melissa's car sat in its usual spot. The porch light was off. I sat in my car for 10 minutes, watching the dark windows. Finally, I grabbed my overnight bag and walked to the door. The house was silent. No lights, no movement. I made my way upstairs, avoiding the creaky third step out of habit. Our bedroom door was closed. I could hear Melissa's breathing, soft and even. Asleep, or pretending to be. I grabbed my pillow and a blanket from the hall closet and went back downstairs to the guest room. The bed was made with the sheets we'd gotten as a wedding gift, the ones we'd never used. I lay there in the dark, phone in hand, waiting for Brandon's email. It arrived at 12:43 a.m. 36 PDF files, each one a signature confirmation. Melissa's name, her signature, and next to it, David Snyder. I had a name now. The waitress refilled my coffee without asking. 4th cup. Maybe 5th. I'd lost count somewhere around 2 a.m. My phone sat on the table between the coffee mug and the manila folder Gregory Brennan had emailed me. I'd printed it at a FedEx office on the way here. The folder contained everything I needed to know about asset protection during divorce proceedings in Arizona. Community property state. Everything acquired during marriage split 50-50 unless I could prove fault or separate assets. The Juice Press app was still open on my phone. I'd been staring at those delivery confirmations for 3 hours, and something kept nagging at me. Not just the signatures, David J. Patterson, signed in that confident scrawl next to Melissa's looping cursive. Not just the aphrodisiac blends ordered twice weekly since February 14th. Valentine's Day. Jesus. No, what bothered me was the subscription itself. I tapped through to the account settings. Premium Family Plan, $299 monthly. I'd set it up last year when Melissa started her wellness journey. Her words, not mine. She'd wanted the smart fridge integration, the personalized nutrition tracking, the whole package. I'd added my card to the account, thinking we'd both use it. Turns out we had. just not the way I'd imagined. The delivery history showed two distinct patterns: home deliveries, green smoothies, detox blends, the occasional protein shake. Those went to our address, signed for by Melissa during normal business hours. Then there were the gym locker deliveries. Always the aphrodisiac blends. Always signed for by two people. Always between 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I pulled up my calendar. Melissa's schedule synced to mine automatically. Another helpful feature from our shared digital life. Her Tuesday and Thursday mornings showed client meetings blocked from 10 to 2. My coffee had gone cold again. I opened my banking app and filtered transactions by merchant. Juice press charges went back 18 months, but the amount had changed in February. Before, $299 monthly subscription plus occasional add-ons, maybe $350 total. After February, $299 subscription plus $240 in additional charges every month. Those additional charges corresponded exactly to the gym locker deliveries. I did the math on a napkin. February through May. 4 months. Roughly $850 in extra juice deliveries I'd been paying for. Juice that went directly to facilitate my wife's affair. The waitress appeared with the coffee pot. "You okay, hun?" "Fine." The word came out rougher than I intended. She topped off my cup anyway and left the check face down on the table. The diner was emptying out, just me and 2 truckers at the counter, and a woman in scrubs who looked like she'd just finished a double shift. I pulled up the Juice Press customer service page, available 24/7 via chat. Of course they were. "Jake, I need to report fraudulent charges on my account." The response came in under 30 seconds. "Madison, customer care. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'd be happy to help. Can you provide your account email?" I typed it in. Madison, customer care. "Thank you, Mr. Whitman. I see you're on our premium family plan. What charges are you disputing?" Jake. All gym locker deliveries since February 14th. Location: Peak Fitness, Locker 247. Madison, customer care. I see those deliveries in your history. Can you tell me why you're disputing them? My fingers hovered over the keyboard. I could feel the rage building again, that cold fury that had settled in my chest when I'd first heard Melissa's voice through the door. "I love you too." Jake. I didn't authorize them. I'm the account holder and payment source. These deliveries were set up without my knowledge or consent. Madison, customer care. I understand your concern. However, I'm showing that these deliveries were scheduled through the account's secondary user profile, Melissa Whitman. As a premium family plan member, she has authorization to schedule deliveries and customize orders. Jake. Using my payment method for deliveries I didn't approve. Madison, customer care. The premium family plan includes unlimited deliveries for up to 2 users at the monthly rate, plus additional charges for premium blends and multiple locations. All users on the account have equal access to these features. I stared at the screen. Of course, I'd set up the family plan myself, given Melissa full access. Never imagined she'd use it to stalk her affair. Jake. The deliveries include aphrodisiac blends marketed for sexual enhancement. They're being signed for by 2 people, my wife and someone who isn't me. This constitutes fraud. 3 minutes passed. The little Madison is typing indicator appeared and disappeared twice. Madison, customer care. Mr. Whitman, I need to transfer you to our fraud prevention team. Please hold. I waited, drank more coffee, watched the sky start to lighten through the diner's windows. Ryan, fraud. Prevention. Hello, Mr. Whitman. I've reviewed your chat with Madison and your account history. I want to make sure I understand your concern. You're stating that deliveries scheduled by an authorized user on your account constitute fraud? Jake. I'm stating that my payment method was used to facilitate an extramarital affair without my knowledge. Your marketing materials claim these aphrodisiac blends enhance intimate experiences and ignite passion. Those deliveries were signed for by my wife and her affair partner. Ryan, fraud prevention. I see, Mr. Whitman. I'm very sorry you're going through this situation. However, from a billing perspective, the charges were authorized by a legitimate user on your account. We can't classify them as fraudulent. Jake. Can you classify them as false advertising? Ryan, fraud prevention. I'm not sure I follow. My hand was shaking again. I set down the coffee cup before I spilled it. Jake. Your aphrodisiac blends claim specific health benefits. Increased vitality. Enhanced circulation. Natural energy boost. Those are medical claims. Do you have FDA approval for those claims? The typing indicator appeared. Disappeared. Appeared again. Ryan, fraud. Prevention. Our products are dietary supplements. They're not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. This is clearly stated in our terms of service. Jake. But you market them as aphrodisiacs. You charge premium prices, $45 per bottle, for blends that claim to enhance sexual function. That's a health claim. And I have 4 months of delivery confirmations showing my wife and another man signing for these products during time periods she claimed to be in client meetings. Ryan, fraud. Prevention. Mr. Whitman, I understand you're upset, but... Jake. I want copies of all delivery confirmations, every signature, every timestamp, every product description and marketing claim associated with those orders. And I want documentation of your FDA compliance for any health-related claims. Ryan, fraud prevention. That information is available in your account dashboard. Jake. I want it officially documented and sent to my attorney, Gregory Brennan, Brennan & Associates, Phoenix. I'll provide the email address. A longer pause this time. Ryan, fraud prevention. Mr. Whitman, are you planning legal action against Juice Press? Jake. I'm planning legal action against my wife. Your records are evidence of marital misconduct and misuse of marital assets. Arizona is a community property state, but fault can affect asset division. Your delivery confirmations prove she used community funds to support an extramarital relationship. Ryan, fraud prevention. I need to transfer you to our legal department. Of course you do, I said out loud, even though he couldn't hear me. The diner had filled up while I'd been typing. Breakfast crowd. People in business casual heading to early shifts, construction workers in dusty boots, a family with 2 kids who couldn't sit still, normal people having normal mornings. My phone buzzed. New chat window. Patricia, legal department. Good morning, Mr. Whitman. I understand you're requesting account documentation for use in divorce proceedings. Jake. Yes. Patricia, legal department. We can provide that information in response to a subpoena. Have your attorney submit the request through proper legal channels, and we'll comply within the required time frame. Jake. How long? Patricia, legal department. Typically 10 to 15 business days after receipt of the subpoena. Jake. And in the meantime, can I pause the subscription? Patricia, legal department. As the primary account holder, yes. Would you like me to process that now? My finger hovered over the keyboard. Pausing the subscription would cut off Melissa's deliveries. She'd notice. She'd know something was wrong, but she'd also lose her twice-weekly supply of $45 aphrodisiac juice. Her Tuesday and Thursday client meetings would lose their enhancement. Jake. Yes, pause it effective immediately. Patricia, legal department. Done. The subscription is now paused. No further deliveries will be processed and no charges will be applied. You can reactivate at any time through your account settings. Jake. Thank you. Patricia, Legal Department. Is there anything else I can help with? I looked at the delivery confirmation still open on my screen. David J. Patterson's signature next to Melissa's. 47 times since February 14th. Jake. Send me a final account summary. Every transaction, every delivery, every signature. I want a complete record. Patricia, Legal Department. I'll email that within 1 hour. Is there anything else? Jake. No. I closed the app and checked the time. 6:23 a.m. My meeting with Gregory Brennan was in 2 hours and 37 minutes. The check was still sitting face down on the table. I flipped it over. $8.47 for 5 cups of coffee and a slice of pie I'd barely touched. I left at 20 and walked out into the warm Arizona morning. My phone buzzed before I reached the car. Text from Melissa. Melissa. Where are you? Your flight was supposed to land at midnight. I'm worried. I stared at the message. She'd sent it at 6:19 a.m., 4 minutes ago. She'd waited until morning to worry, until after David had presumably left, until she'd had time to clean up the evidence and restore our living room to its proper state. I got in the car and drove toward Phoenix. The attorney's office smelled like leather and old books. Gregory Brennan looked exactly like his website photo. Mid-50s, graying temples, wire-rimmed glasses perched on a nose that had seen its share of contentious depositions. I'd found him at 2 a.m. through a search for Best Divorce Attorney Phoenix, and his reviews all said the same thing: thorough, relentless, expensive. Worth every penny, I thought, sliding my phone across his mahogany desk. 90 seconds, I said. Recorded last night at 9:47 p.m. He didn't flinch, didn't raise an eyebrow, just put on reading glasses and tapped play, the volume low enough that only he could hear. I watched his face instead of the screen. Watched him take notes on a yellow legal pad. Watched him replay it twice. And you didn't confront her? He asked. No. Good. He set the phone down. Most people would have. Makes my job harder when they do. I pulled out the printed screenshots from the Juice Press app. 23 pages of delivery confirmations, subscription details, billing history. I'd organized them chronologically at the diner, highlighting the relevant entries in yellow. Shared account, I explained. She's been ordering specialty blends to a gym locker. 2 signatures per delivery, hers and David J. Patterson's. I've been paying for it through our joint checking. Brennan flipped through the pages slowly, making occasional notes. What gym? 24/7 Fitness on Camelback, the one near her office. And you paused the subscription when? 3 this morning. Set it to cancel completely in 72 hours unless I reactivate. He looked up. Why the delay? Wanted to see if she'd notice, if she'd say something. Smart. He tapped the delivery confirmations. These aphrodisiac blends, passion fusion, libido lift, desire detox, they make specific health claims? According to the product descriptions, yes. Enhanced performance, increased vitality, hormonal balance. The usual wellness industry promises. And the price point? $48 per delivery, twice weekly for 4 months. That's roughly $850, give or take. Brennan made another note. Oregon has strict consumer protection laws around health claims. Juice Press is headquartered in Beaverton. That's where their fulfillment center operates. If they're making unsubstantiated wellness claims and charging premium prices, that's potentially fraudulent marketing. I hadn't thought about it from that angle. I just wanted to cut off the deliveries, stop funding their whatever this is. We can do better than that. He pulled up something on his computer, typed rapidly. Oregon's Unlawful Trade Practices Act allows consumers to dispute charges for products marketed with false health claims. If we file a formal complaint with the Oregon Department of Justice, they'll investigate. That investigation creates a paper trail, subpoenas, witness statements, delivery records. Including the signatures, I said. Including the signatures. He smiled, thin and professional. Every delivery confirmation David J. Patterson signed becomes evidence in a state investigation. His name, his handwriting, his presence at that gym locker. All documented, all time-stamped, all admissible. My phone buzzed. Melissa again. Third text since I'd left the diner. Jake, seriously, where are you? I'm getting worried. I showed Brennan. He read it, handed the phone back. Don't respond yet, he said. Let me ask you something. This business deal you closed, the $2 million contract. When does the money actually transfer? First payment hits next week. $500,000 upfront. The rest distributed over 18 months. And it's going into what account? Business account, shared with my partner, Tyler. Personal assets? The townhouse is jointly owned. We bought it 4 years ago. My truck is paid off in my name. Her Lexus has 2 years left on the lease, joint. Savings account is joint, about $40,000. Investment account is joint, around $120,000. Brennan typed as I talked. Retirement? Both have 401ks through our employers. Mine's worth about $200,000. Hers is maybe $80,000. Debts? Mortgage. Student loans paid off 3 years ago. One credit card we use for points, paid off monthly. He leaned back, steepled his fingers. Arizona is a community property state. Everything acquired during the marriage gets split 50-50 unless we can prove separate property or dissipation of marital assets. Dissipation? Spending marital funds on an affair. The juice deliveries are a start, but $850 won't move the needle much. We need to find bigger expenditures. Hotel rooms, gifts, trips. Check your credit card statements, bank records, anything she had access to. I thought about the new gym membership she'd bought in February, the work conference in San Diego last month that I'd never seen receipts for, the upgraded phone she'd bought herself as a promotion gift. I'll go through everything, I said. Do it systematically. Print it all out, highlight anything suspicious, bring it to our next meeting. He glanced at his calendar. Can you come back Thursday, 2 p.m.? Yes. Good. In the meantime, I'm filing the Oregon complaint today. I'll need you to sign an affidavit stating that you dispute the charges as fraudulent health claims, that you were unaware of the nature of the products being ordered, and that you're seeking reimbursement plus investigation into the company's marketing practices. Will that actually work? Oregon takes consumer protection seriously. Juice Press will have to respond within 30 days. They'll produce their delivery records, their product claims documentation, their subscription agreements, and they'll have to verify every signature on file. He smiled again. David J. Patterson's signature will be all over those records. Verified, authenticated, time-stamped. By the time we're done, we'll have a complete timeline of every interaction he had with those deliveries. And that helps the divorce case how? It establishes pattern, duration, and intent. It shows premeditation. They weren't just sleeping together, they were coordinating deliveries, meeting regularly, using your money to fund their relationship. It also gives us leverage. If Melissa wants to avoid having all of this entered into public record during divorce proceedings, she might be more amenable to a favorable settlement. My phone buzzed again. This time, a call. Melissa's name lit up the screen. Brennan watched me decline it. You'll have to talk to her eventually. I know. When you do, don't mention the juice subscription. Don't mention the Oregon complaint. Don't mention any of this. Just tell her you need some space, you're staying with a friend, you'll talk soon. And if she asks why, tell her you're stressed about work, The big presentation she mentioned, use that. Tell her you need to focus. You'll explain later. He closed the folder with my documents. The less she knows about what we're doing, the better. Let her think everything's normal. Let her keep ordering her juices, keep meeting David at the gym, keep planning her exit strategy. Meanwhile, we build our case. I stood to leave, then remembered. The video. Should I send it to anyone else? Back it up? Email it to yourself from 3 different accounts. Upload it to cloud storage. Save it on a thumb drive and put that drive somewhere she can't access. Your office, a safe deposit box with a trusted friend. Never keep evidence in only one place. I'd already emailed it to myself twice, but I nodded. Anything else? Yes. Act normal. Go home, go to work. Be the husband you've always been. Don't pick fights. Don't sleep on the couch. Don't change your routine. If she suspects you know, she'll start hiding assets, deleting records, coordinating stories with David. We need her complacent. The thought of sleeping next to her, pretending everything was fine, made my stomach turn. But I understood the logic. How long do I have to keep this up? Until we've documented everything we need. Could be a week, could be a month. Depends on what else we find. He walked me to the door. Jake, I know this is hard, but you did the right thing by not confronting her last night. You gave yourself options. Now we use those options to protect your interests. I shook his hand and left. The Phoenix morning was already hot, the sun glaring off windshields in the parking lot. I sat in my truck for 5 minutes, staring at Melissa's missed calls. 4 now, 2 voicemails. I played the first one. Jake, where are you? You didn't come home last night and you're not answering. I'm really worried. Please call me back. The concern in her voice sounded genuine. Maybe it was. Maybe she actually did worry when I didn't come home, even while planning to leave me for David. The second voicemail was shorter. Okay, you're scaring me now. If I don't hear from you in the next hour, I'm calling the police. I checked the timestamp. She'd left that 12 minutes ago. I typed out a response, keeping it simple like Brennan said. Sorry, couldn't sleep, drove around, ended up working from a coffee shop. Big presentation stress. Need to focus. Staying at Tyler's for a few days. I'll explain later. I hit send before I could overthink it. Her response came in 30 seconds. Thank God, I thought something happened to you. Are you okay? Fine. Just need space to work. Okay, I love you. I stared at those 3 words until they stopped meaning anything. Then I started the truck and headed toward my office, where I'd spend the rest of the day printing bank statements and looking for proof of how she'd spent our money on him. The Juice Press app notification pinged at 6:47 a.m. while I was sitting in Tyler's guest room, staring at my laptop screen without really seeing it. Your subscription delivery has been paused. We miss you already. Reactivate any time to continue your wellness journey. I'd expected some automated message. What I hadn't expected was the second notification, 30 seconds later. Melissa Whitman has requested subscription reactivation. Approve changes? My finger hovered over the phone screen. She'd noticed. Of course she'd noticed. Those deliveries to Locker 247 at Core Fit Gym were probably the highlight of her week. The thought made my stomach turn. I declined the request. 2 minutes later, my phone rang. Melissa's photo filled the screen, the one from our trip to Sedona last year, her smile genuine in the red rock sunshine. Back when I thought we were happy. I let it ring 4 times before answering. Sound groggy? You're stressed about work, remember? Hey, I said, adding a yawn for effect. Jake, hi, did I wake you? She sounded concerned. Caring wife, worried about her husband's sleep schedule. No, I've been up, going through the Riverside contract revisions. True enough. I'd been staring at them for an hour without retaining a single word. That's what I figured. Listen, something weird happened with our juice subscription. It got paused somehow, and when I tried to reactivate it, the app said I needed account holder approval. Her voice carried that particular note of confusion, the one she used when technology didn't cooperate. Did you change something? I rubbed my eyes, buying time. Yeah, actually, I got a fraud alert from the credit card company yesterday. Someone's been charging stuff in Oregon, Beaverton, specifically. The card company flagged a bunch of recurring charges as potentially fraudulent. Silence on the other end. I could practically hear her brain working. Oregon, she said finally. Yeah, I had to pause all our subscription services until they sorted out. Pain in the neck, honestly. They're sending new cards. Should have them in 3 to 5 business days. I kept my tone annoyed but casual. Just another inconvenience in a stressful week. But the juice subscription is based in Oregon. That's where their main distribution center is. She was choosing her words carefully now. Right, which is why it got flagged. The fraud department said that's a common tactic. Scammers set up fake charges that look similar to legitimate ones. They're investigating the whole thing. I paused, then added the detail that would really sting. Actually, they said something about duplicate signatures on delivery confirmations, like someone's been signing for orders twice or something. The whole system's a mess. Another pause, longer this time. That's weird, she said. Tell me about it. Anyway, I filed a dispute on the charges from the last 4 months. The card company said if they can't verify all the signatures as legitimate, they'll reverse the charges and flag the merchant for review. I kept my voice steady, matter of fact, just recounting the tedious details of credit card fraud. Apparently, there's some wellness fraud investigation happening. People ordering expensive supplements and stuff, then claiming they never received them. The whole industry's under scrutiny. I could hear her breathing on the other end of the line. 4 months? Her voice had gone quiet. Yeah, that's how far back the suspicious charges went. About $850 total. I mean, I know we order juice regularly, but that seemed high, so I let them investigate. I yawned again. Sorry, I'm running on about 4 hours of sleep. This Riverside thing is killing me. No, that's fine. Smart to check. She was recovering now, finding her footing. So we just wait for the new cards? Yep. Should have everything sorted by next week. In the meantime, I moved our other subscriptions to my business card temporarily. Just the juice thing is on hold until the investigation closes. Right, okay. I could hear movement on her end, probably getting ready for work. Are you coming home this weekend? I miss you. The words hit harder than they should have. 3 days ago, I would have believed them. I want to, but Tyler and I need to finalize the Riverside revisions by Monday. I'll probably be here through the weekend. I softened my voice, played the part. I miss you too. This whole week has been insane. I know. I'm proud of you, though. $2 million contract, that's huge. Thanks. Hey, I should get back to this. Conference call with the client at 8. Okay, love you. The words stuck in my throat for a half-second too long. Love you too. I ended the call and stared at my phone screen until it went dark. She'd bought it. Or at least, she'd pretended to buy it. Either way, the subscription was paused, the fraud complaint was filed, and somewhere in Beaverton, Oregon, a customer service representative was probably looking at duplicate signatures on delivery confirmations and wondering what the hell was going on. My phone buzzed with a text from Brennan. Any developments? I typed back. She noticed the paused subscription. Bought the credit card fraud story. Seemed nervous about the signature investigation. His response came quickly. Good. Let her worry. The more she stresses about small things, the less she'll see the big picture. How are you holding up? I didn't answer that one. Instead, I opened my laptop and pulled up the Juice Press account again. The order history was still there, meticulously documented. Every Passion Elixir and Vitality Blend delivered to Locker 247. Every dual signature confirmation. Every charge to my credit card. The app had a feature I hadn't noticed before, a voting system where household members could rate flavors and suggest new blends. I clicked through to our household profile. There they were, Melissa's votes, time-stamped and cataloged. 5 stars for Romance Revival. 4 stars for Aphrodite's Garden. 3 stars for Stamina Surge, with a note that said, too sweet, but effective. Effective. My hands clenched into fists. The voting history went back 6 months, but the delivery address change happened 4 months ago. For 2 months, she'd been rating these blends while they were delivered to our house. Then the deliveries shifted to the gym, right around the time the dual signatures started appearing. Right around the time David's signature started appearing next to hers. I clicked on the account settings, looking for anything else I might have missed. Payment history, delivery preferences, user access? Wait. User access. Our account showed 2 authorized users, me and Melissa. But there was a third entry, grayed out, marked as pending invitation. I clicked on it. Invitation sent to dpatterson.fitigmail.com. Status declined. Date February 14th. Valentine's Day. She'd tried to add him to our account on Valentine's Day. He'd declined, probably smart enough to know that linking himself to a married woman's household subscription was a bad idea. But she'd tried. She'd actually tried to add her affair partner to our shared juice subscription. The laugh that came out of me sounded wrong, brittle and sharp in the quiet room. I screenshot the invitation attempt and texted it to Brennan without comment. His response, Jesus, save everything. This is beyond reckless. I was already saving it. Creating folders within folders, backing up to 3 different cloud services, downloading PDFs with timestamps. Every vote, every order, every signature, every declined invitation. My phone rang again. Tyler this time. You okay in there? He asked. I heard, I don't know, something. You okay? Yeah, fine. Just found something new. Something good? I looked at the screenshot of the Valentine's Day invitation, at Melissa's attempt to weave her affair partner into the mundane fabric of our marriage, into our juice subscription of all things. Something useful, I said. You want coffee? I'm making a pot. Yeah, thanks. I closed the laptop and stood up, my legs stiff from sitting in the same position for too long. Through the guest room window, I could see the sun rising over Phoenix, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. Beautiful morning. The kind Melissa and I used to watch together from our back patio, coffee in hand, planning our day. My phone buzzed one more time. Another Juice Press notification. Melissa Whitman has submitted a customer service inquiry regarding paused subscription. Our team will respond within 24-48 hours. Let her inquire. Let her explain to customer service why she needed those aphrodisiac blends delivered to a gym locker. Let her try to reactivate a subscription that was currently flagged in a fraud investigation, with duplicate signatures being subpoenaed for review. Let her worry about her juice deliveries while I documented every single transaction, every vote, every signature, every piece of evidence that showed exactly how she'd spent our money on her affair. I grabbed my phone and headed for Tyler's kitchen, where coffee was brewing and the morning news played quietly on the TV. Normal sounds. Normal routine. I was getting good at pretending everything was normal. The notification came through while I was pretending to review supplier contracts at Tyler's kitchen table. My phone buzzed. A customer service email from Juice Press. Dear valued customer, your recent fraud claim, case JP4429OR, requires additional documentation. Please provide copies of disputed delivery confirmations showing unauthorized signatures. Our wellness integrity team will review within 5 to 7 business days. I read it twice, then forwarded it to Brennan with a single line. They took the bait. His response came back in under a minute. Perfect. Send them everything. Make them do the work. The shared app still showed Melissa's activity. She'd tried ordering 3 times since yesterday. Each attempt declined with a payment processing error. The subscription page displayed a cheerful yellow banner. Account under review. We're ensuring your wellness journey stays authentic. I pulled up the delivery history and started screenshotting. 36 confirmations, each with 2 signatures scrawled across the digital receipt. Melissa's looping handwriting next to someone else's angular scrawl. The timestamps told their own story. Tuesday and Thursday afternoons, always between 2 and 3 p.m. Her client meetings. His flexible schedule. The aphrodisiac blends had names that would have been funny if they weren't evidence. Passion Ignite, Vitality Rush, Intimate Energy. Each one cost $23.50. I did the math again. $846 over 4 months, not counting the expedited delivery fees. I attached all 36 screenshots to the fraud claim response, added a formal statement about discovering unauthorized dual access to subscription account and fraudulent health claims regarding product efficacy, and hit send at 11:47 p.m. My phone rang 6 minutes later. Melissa. Hey, I said, keeping my voice flat with exhaustion. What's up? The juice thing is still broken. She sounded irritated, not suspicious. I called customer service and they said there's an investigation. Did you tell them it was fraud? I reported the credit card issue. They must have flagged the account. I rubbed my eyes, genuine fatigue making the lie easier. The bank's involved now. Something about duplicate transactions. But I need... She stopped herself. It's just annoying. I had a whole cleanse planned. They said 5 to 7 business days. Can you just buy juice somewhere else? Silence stretched for 3 seconds. It's not the same. The blends are specific. Specific how? They're formulated for... Never mind. It's complicated. Her voice shifted, softened. How are you doing? Tyler said you've been working until midnight. Partnership stuff, lots of details. I stared at the screenshot still open on my laptop, signature after signature. I'll probably be here through the weekend. Jake, she exhaled slowly. We should talk when you get home about everything. My stomach clenched. About what? Just us? Where we are, I've been thinking. Another pause. Maybe Sunday? I could make dinner? The confession. She was planning the confession. Probably rehearsing it right now, deciding how much to reveal, how to frame 3 months of afternoons with David Patterson as something that just happened. Sure, I said. Sunday works. Okay, good. Relief in her voice. I love you. The words hit like broken glass. Love you too. I ended the call and immediately texted Brennan. She wants to talk Sunday. Think she's going to tell me. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Don't let her control the narrative. You need financial discovery complete first. Can you stall? How? Buy yourself 72 hours. Family emergency, work crisis, anything. I set the phone down and walked to Tyler's bathroom, splashed cold water on my face. In the mirror, I looked exactly like what I was. A man who hadn't slept properly in 4 days, living in his business partner's guest room, building a fraud case against his own wife's juice subscription to prove infidelity. The absurdity would have been funny 8 months ago. My phone buzzed again. Not Brennan this time. A new email from Juice Press, sent to both Melissa and me as joint account holders. Urgent. Signature verification required. Our wellness integrity team has identified inconsistencies in delivery confirmations associated with your subscription. Per our Terms of Service, Section 12.3, account sharing, and fraud prevention, we require in-person identity verification for all authorized users. Please visit our Portland flagship location with valid photo ID within 10 business days. Failure to verify will result in permanent account suspension and potential referral to consumer protection authorities. I read it 3 times. Brennan had said Oregon took consumer fraud seriously, but I hadn't expected them to move this fast. They wanted both signatures verified in person. They wanted David Patterson to show up with his ID and explain why he'd been signing for deliveries to a gym locker on a married couple's subscription. My phone lit up with Melissa's call before I could process the implications. "Did you see this?" Her voice had an edge now. "They want us to drive to Portland? For juice?" "It's their headquarters. Probably standard procedure for fraud investigations." "This is insane. I'm not driving 6 hours for—" She caught herself again. "Can't we just cancel the whole thing? And lose the subscription credits? We've got like $200 banked." I kept my tone reasonable, practical. "Besides, if there's actual fraud, we need to clear it up. Could affect our credit." "It's juice, Jake, not a mortgage." "It's a billing dispute with a company that's threatening to report us. That goes on record." I let that sink in. "Look, I'll handle it. I can drive up Monday, do the verification thing, get it sorted." "Monday?" A new tension in her voice. "I thought you were coming home Sunday." "This partnership contract it's complicated. Tyler and I need the weekend to finalize terms." The lie came easier now. I hated how easy it was getting. "Wednesday at the latest. Then we can have that talk." Silence. I could almost hear her recalculating, adjusting her timeline. "Fine," she said finally. "But I'm not going to Portland. If they need 2 signatures verified, tell them the other person was, I don't know, a delivery mistake. Someone else picking up packages." "Someone else?" "At the gym. People grab the wrong stuff all the time from the lockers." I closed my eyes. She was already building her cover story, already preparing to throw David under the bus as a stranger. A coincidence. A mix-up. "I'll tell them," I said. "Probably just a clerical error anyway." "Exactly." Relief again. "Thanks for handling it. I know this week has been stressful." "Yeah, stressful." I looked at the screenshots on my laptop. 36 confirmations, 84 signatures, 4 months of Tuesday and Thursday afternoons. "I should get back to work." "Okay, love you." "You too." I ended the call and immediately forwarded the verification email to Brennan with a new message. "They want in-person ID verification in Portland. Both signatures." She's already lying about it. His response came back instantly. "Do not go to Portland. This is better than we planned. Let the deadline pass. Let them suspend the account and file with consumer protection. We want the official report." "What about the signatures?" "That's the point. She can't verify the second signature without exposing Patterson. She can't explain the gym locker without admitting the affair. She's trapped." I stared at the message. Melissa had 3 choices now. Verify both signatures and expose David, cancel the account and lose the evidence trail, or do nothing and let Juice Press file a fraud report with Oregon's Consumer Protection Division. Every option led to documentation. Every option created a paper trail. My phone buzzed with another text from her. "Actually, can you just cancel the whole subscription? Not worth the hassle." I typed back, "Already submitted the fraud claim. Can't cancel during investigation. Company policy." 3 dots appeared and disappeared 4 times before her response came. "This is ridiculous." "I know. Should be resolved by next week." The dots appeared again, then stopped. No response. I opened my laptop and started a new document. A timeline of every juice delivery, cross-referenced with Melissa's calendar entries for client meetings, and gym sessions. The patterns were perfect. Too perfect. Every Tuesday and Thursday for 16 weeks, like clockwork. At 1:23 a.m., another email arrived from Juice Press. This one only to me, sent to my personal email instead of the shared account. Mr. Whitman, as the primary account holder who initiated the fraud claim, please call our Wellness Integrity Hotline at your earliest convenience. Reference case JP4429OR. We have questions regarding the delivery address discrepancies and dual signature patterns. I saved the email and added it to my evidence folder, now 247 files deep. Sunday's confession would have to wait. By Wednesday, I'd have something better than her version of the truth. I'd have documentation. The divorce was finalized on a Tuesday morning in October, 6 months after I'd walked into my own house and found my marriage ending on our IKEA couch. Melissa signed the papers in her attorney's office. I signed them in Brennan's. We never sat in the same room again after that Sunday in May, when she'd finally attempted her confession. The one I'd interrupted 10 seconds in, with a manila folder containing 247 pages of delivery confirmations, bank statements, and time-stamped photographs. The look on her face when she realized I'd known for weeks was something I'll never forget. Not satisfaction exactly. More like watching someone understand they'd been playing checkers while I'd been playing chess. The Juice subscription investigation did exactly what Brennan predicted. When Melissa failed to verify the signatures in Portland, Juice Press suspended the account and filed a report with Oregon's Consumer Protection Division. David Patterson's name appeared in official documentation, subpoenaed, verified, time-stamped. The paper trail was immaculate. Arizona's community property laws still applied, but Brennan used the documented dissipation of marital assets to negotiate. The $846 in juice deliveries became leverage. The gym membership she'd upgraded in February, $2,200 charged to our joint account. The San Diego conference that never appeared on her work calendar. $47 at a beachfront hotel where David had checked in the same weekend. The new phone she'd bought herself, $200, paid for with our savings. By the time we tallied everything she'd spent on the affair, we documented $8,394 in marital funds. Not enough to change the settlement dramatically, but enough that her attorney advised her to accept my terms rather than have everything read into public record during a trial. I kept the townhouse. She took her Lexus and half the savings. We split the retirement accounts. No alimony. We'd both been working, and Arizona didn't favor it in short marriages without dependents. Clean break, clinical, exactly what Brennan promised. The partnership at my firm came through in July. Tyler and I expanded to California like we'd planned. The Riverside contract led to 3 more. Business is good. Better than good. I sold the townhouse in September and bought a condo in Tempe, closer to the office. New place, new furniture, new everything. The only thing I kept from the marriage was my truck and a coffee maker Melissa had never liked anyway. I don't know what happened to Melissa and David. Mutual friends say they're still together, living in Chandler. Someone mentioned seeing them at a farmer's market looking happy. I deleted all my social media accounts in June, so I wouldn't know. Tyler asked me once if I regretted how I handled it. The surveillance, the documentation, the calculated patience. You could have just confronted her that first night, he said. Gotten it over with. Maybe. But I would have been the emotional one, the betrayed husband making accusations while she controlled the narrative. I would have been reacting instead of acting. The Juice subscription taught me something I'll never forget. Evidence is power. Documentation is control. And sometimes the best response to betrayal isn't rage, it's patience. I don't hate Melissa anymore. That feeling burned out somewhere around August, replaced by something closer to indifference. She made her choices. I made mine. We both have to live with the consequences. What I learned from all of it isn't about marriage or fidelity or even revenge. It's simpler than that. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. And when life hands you a choice between emotional satisfaction and strategic advantage, choose strategy every single time. The champagne cork that exploded across my living room at 9:47 p.m. on that April night didn't just end my marriage. It taught me that the person who keeps their head while everything's falling apart is the person who walks away whole. I'm not the same man who stood in that darkened hallway 6 months ago, paralyzed and confused. I'm someone who knows the difference between what feels good and what works. And I'm okay with that.